to deal with all situations.
The next item we've got is the CS gas.
Here. You open the top first and you put your hand out and you just shout stop and stay where you are, and you aim at the face, near to the nose and eyes and near to the mouth.
The effect it has on people is you spray it, obviously it goes in their eyes, they won't be able to open their eyes, and their breathing sometimes becomes difficult. Their eyes become very sore, and the immediate reaction is to try and rub your eyes. By doing that, it makes it worse. It's very, very good. The CS gas is actually classed as a Section 1 firearm, which is obviously against the law to carry it under normal circumstances. Being police officers, we've obviously got authority.
CS gas is something which is quite alien to me because it's not the tradition that I've served with. I personally don't like carrying it. As a police officer who joined it with a different philosophy, I don't like carrying it. I don't like the image that they portray.
Friday night and the Saturday night in the city centre we work the van, which consists of 1 sergeant and 7 constables, and basically if there is any type of disorder or any fights, any trouble, that we're there as a group to solve that as quickly as possible so it doesn't disrupt anybody else's night and everyone has a good time. Tonight our duty on the van is to go and do some licensing checks with our sergeant. He will go into the nightclubs and make sure that everything's in order, that the doormen have been okay, that there's been no trouble in there. Most of the nightclubs and pubs have got licensees who are very pro-police, and if there is any trouble, they know we're here to help them solve that problem as quickly as possible.
You're actually looking for youngsters in the club that really ought to be there, or any silliness that's going on that you can point out to the management. Because at the end of the day, you've got to be able to report to the licensing magistrates that this is either a well-run club or not a well-run club. And this place will get a visit every 5, 6, 7 weeks, something like that will pop in. If they've had problems in the past, then we'll go in just to show the flag as much as anything, to make sure the club know that we're about.
Foxtrot 1 Control, Foxtrot Papa Charlie 1. Can you make John Bright Street outside Sam Weller's? Amber are going to Mail Assaulted.
Adrian, will you have a look at John Bright Street outside Sam Weller's? Amber are going to Mail Assaulted with a bottle.
The city centre is covered by a lot of cameras, which is CCTV, which monitors everybody's whereabouts and the events that are happening in the city centre. So wherever you go, you can guarantee that somebody's always watching you. Certain people who don't want to be watched on camera, I believe that are concerned because they're either about to commit crime or they're about to do something that isn't right.
7192 Control. We've got a man with head injuries at John Bright Street outside Sam Weller's bar. We need an ambulance here immediately, please.
The guy walked into Joe, spilled his pint.
Is this Joe on the floor, is it?
Joe just said, "Oh, what are you doing?" And they got, all of a sudden everyone got involved in a big right. And
all right, don't go away, let me get your details, all right, and we'll get it.
I'll be on the bench.
All right, go and have a seat on the bench and I'll come and see you. Alcohol is a problem of causing trouble. When they've got alcohol inside their bodies, they become irrational and quite abusive.
It's all over nothing. It's
all over nothing. Nothing.
Can you do me a favour? Can you just hold this torch on his head?
Yeah.
Joe?
If they want to start trouble, then our main priority is to get that trouble off the street, but treat them as equal as we would any other member of the public. So it's a balance, really. It's a very good balance that you've got to have and make sure that everyone is treated the same and fairly.
break it open for me?
Yeah, no problem.
Is that all right?
Well done now?
Yeah, desperately. I'm going out the door in 10 minutes. That's just the front of it, isn't it? There's a drawing. Yeah, excellent.
We're not actually going to be talking about in advertising about the product or doing the training.
Right, it's good that they're good at security. You only need it another inch. Oh, I remember that. I put all my important stuff in the bottom. That's it, yeah. Thanks, Bill. Yeah, Dawn said that she'll replace it for him.
We're about halfway through the process of pitching for a new client or a potential new client. We're about to meet a regional manager of about 4 hotels in the Post House chain. Basically want to find out his view on his customer and his product.
What we've got here is reception. And then, obviously, the hotel.
Well, very, very simply, you guys are obviously putting a lot of money into a development program over the next sort of 5 to 10 years, 2001, 2010. And I think they want, if you like, a new image for Post House to fit what you're doing with your product.
One of our strengths as a brand is the locations and the network coverage that we have.
Okay.
That makes us the biggest player in the UK market.
Where we're trying to come out with is more the sort of values, the philosophy, if you like, behind Post House. If you think about it, you know, you've got 15 businessmen sitting in a bar having a beer and they're all staying at different hotels but at the same conference. If one of them says, I stayed at the Post House, and one of them says, I stayed at the Hilton, albeit the Hilton National, there's obviously a slightly more kudos with the guy sort of staying at the Hilton than there is a guy staying at the Post House. I think what we're trying to do, as much as we possibly can do, is try and sort of right that wrong. We got quite a lot of information there, a lot more than I thought we were actually going to get. But I suppose one of the sort of the rolling things in here is it's a nice company. You know, we met some nice people at the marketing department, and they're pretty good in there as well. Much better than I thought actually for a Post House. I really thought it was going to be a bit more down market, but anyhow, it worked out quite well. Right, where's the car? We came here and there, but this is advertising. Let's nick this one over here. We'll hot wire this Saab.
My role is that I'm an account exec. That means I'm lower down the food chain. It's probably the best way of putting it. But I have to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. If Addison wants a meeting with X number of people, then I will sort that out.
Meetings. Have we got an 11 o'clock or...?
We've got an 11, but we haven't got a room, so I'll have to do it in creative.
Well, we need a room.
Well,
then.
I can put you in the blue room for the rehearsal.
I don't mind where
Yeah,
we go for the
yeah.
rehearsal. The
All right.
rehearsal's not, you know, I mean, it's not the end of the world if we go in the blue room or the green room, but...
We've got the red room this evening for...
What time have we got that?
We've got it from 3:30.
OK, what time are we having the meeting?
11 o'clock.
No, there's 2 meetings today. There's a meeting where we review all the creative work, and then there's a meeting this evening where we sit down and go through the presentation.
We've got it at 6 tonight.
OK, is that in people's diaries?
Everyone's
It's not in my
diary. Right, I know.
OK, so I'm assuming it will be in everyone's diary, definitely. Yeah? Simon's, Graham's, all teams, everybody's.
Yeah.
Cool, OK.
I am the creative group leader. So Matt and Steve are working to me. First thing is the meeting we were supposed to be having. We're not having now. Why? Because the account group have failed to get the information together.
That's a surprise.
Predictably.
We need to have a meeting between ourselves anyway and just see where we've got to, see which are good lines, which are not.
Yeah, we'll get together tomorrow and sort out what we're going to do. But basically, I think it's more radio and TV, the things we've now got to start and think about.
We stayed at the hotel a night to get a feel of what it was about. But I mean, it was a good chance to actually sort of
see the target audience
and get drunk. No, we actually wanted to do some work, and we actually worked till about 10 o'clock that night, didn't we?
Yeah. So we try to find statements or quotes. This one, for instance, it's aggressive, and it's speaking in the language of the dog-eat-dog world of the salesman.
Yeah, one-upmanship.
The great thing about this job is that you don't have to sit at a desk all day, because you can have an idea anywhere. Fill yourself with all the information and then go out and play football, do whatever you want to do, and that's when you usually have a reasonable idea. And also, most of the people who do this job only have concentration spans of about 35 seconds, so we can't sit and concentrate on anything for very long.
Guys, I'm sorry, we're not going to sort of film this meeting. It might be a little bit sticky, so if you don't mind, just give us like a few minutes. I'll explain to you afterwards.
It was a fairly crucial meeting where we had to go through all the work that we've done, and it was basically going to be quite a lot of rowing between us and the account group, which is kind of par for the course, and you have to do it. About each of the bits of work and whether it all fits in and how it all fits in.
The disagreement, if you want to call it that, was basically how arrogant we make the campaign. How arrogant in tone is the campaign, how the difference between confidence and arrogance. And I suppose certain people read certain ads and say, that's a little bit too far, and others say, no, that's bang on from where we were.
It was that poster. Your assistant has booked you into another hotel, that's why he's your assistant. And basically they're saying the tone of that is too aggressive and it's too demeaning to the assistant. Would the assistant then be prepared to book you into the hotel? Our argument is that no one will ever see themselves as that assistant, because people never associate themselves with failure or doing wrong or whatever. And it's still in there. At least for today.
For years I've lived a double life. In the day I do my job.
The value of the creative in the advertising process is, well, it is the crux of advertising. Without any work, without any creative work, the industry is kind of pointless, really, because it would just fulfill a sub-management consultancy role, and that would be it. It's the creative work that makes the industry what it is, that gives it its profile, because in the end, we're the most important. And whatever Addison and David and Simon and Graham might tell you, we are the most important people.
This morning I'm putting together a little document which we're going to send out to Post House, just sort of saying, you know, TBWA welcomes you, these are the people you're going to be meeting tomorrow, bit of a biography on each, which is sort of very urgent, got to get that out by 4 o'clock. Okay. In terms of layout, we're looking a bit empty on the back here.
Why is Jim in colour and we're all in black and white?
We're going to get a black and white one done of Jim. We've got a shot of him somewhere, I guess.
You can have your SRI with its ABS, its 24V with DOHC, and body-coloured bumpers. Yes, you can even have the newest, fastest, smallest laptop, palm top, flip top. But at the end of the day, we all know if you want to get to the top in business...
I think the end line from this would go well with the previous...
With the previous read of the body,
at the end.
That's one. But at the end of the day, we all know if you want to get to the top in business, you have to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, I thought it was really good, actually.
Yeah, I like that. Very good.
What I'm doing is sending over this document to High Holborn, which is where the client is. Going down here. I'm just seeing if it's done, and as soon as it is, I'm then going to get it on the bike and get it over there. But the client's going home at 5:30, maybe 6 o'clock, so I'll assume they're going at 5 and get it out. I need it to leave the building in less than 10 minutes, and it's a 10-minute job. So I want him here. So we'll try and find him. Competitiveness in advertising is definitely there. Certainly in this pitch, we're pitching against another number of agencies. If I didn't want to win it, it's pointless doing it. Go to any of the other agencies down the road that are pitching, and they're going to do exactly the same. They'll say exactly the same. But you have to go into it wholeheartedly. Otherwise, it's pointless doing it.
It is the night before the pitch, and it'll probably be a long night. We're pitching in about 18 hours or so, and at the moment we don't have a finished presentation, we don't have finished creative work, we don't have the mood films that we're using, and we haven't had a run-through. But that is the nature of most pitches anyhow. There'll be lots of sort of finalising and tweaking sort of through the night and through next morning. Hopefully most of that will come together. Say for the first time, we should see some recordings of TV voiceovers, we should see some recordings of radio, and we should see all the print work in either rough or finished format.
Put them in an order.
I've done it tonight. Are you in for presentation?
Yeah.
Yes, why not? As we're thinking about
The first one's the killer one, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's that top. I think it's that one.
Well, the one you hate. The one I've grown to love. The one I've grown to love. I think it sets.
I have no problem with that, Graham. The only reason I wasn't going for that one was because I assumed that we'd end up having a Barney. And it's just too late for that. Storyboards.
I think they're all on one tape, aren't they, David?
Yeah. No, not now.
You can have your neatly pressed designer suits. You can have your SRI with its ABS, its 24V with DOHC, and body-coloured bumpers. But at the end of the day, we all know if you want to get to the top in business, you have to be in the right place at the right time.
Well, that, I think, works very sweetly.
Really, yeah. Brilliant.
Now, radio.
To all those who didn't close that deal today,
It's quite good, actually.
who had that appointment cancelled, who didn't make their target, who lost that contract, who ummed and erred, and dillied and dallied, who let opportunity slip through their hands. To all of you, we'd just like to say, sorry, we're full. Post House, for people going somewhere.
It's so good. It's got the best, it's the closest to being broadcastable, isn't it, in terms of quality and everything. It shows how far you can push it. I'm sure we can aim off like that.
I think it's time to go home.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what I'm trying to ask is this a shot that, this is just an example.
Right.
They won't be able to cope with, this is so abstract. You know what I'm saying? It's like iced coffee. It's the last thing you want when you arrive.
But it is going to be abstract.
It's abstract, but it's sort of relevant, so perhaps it would be a glass of champagne.
I don't want to lose it for the wrong reason, which is them thinking we're trying to sell them arty-farty advertising. I'm not saying don't show him anything. I'm saying don't show him some of the more abstract ones, because you run the risk of making him think.
In that case, I think
I thought I understood it. Now I don't.
We just take those two out anyway.
I'm much happier now. If we're not showing the really the dazed and confused ones,
Lose the wallpaper one.
I think that there are times when we don't 100% believe in the product. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because it in some ways puts the devil's advocate hat on. But then I think that's the trick of an ad agency. You have to look at the products and our clients, and we have to look at what they're offering. and do the best we can for them and do the best sell that we can for them.
Well, what a challenge. You've given us a disparate product with long-term ambitions but short-term business needs.
The situation the Post House is currently in, minimal market leadership, the brand is being squeezed from both sides.
We're going to the first stage, which is brand, posters, TV and radio.
To all those who didn't close that deal today, sorry. We're full. Post House. For people going somewhere.
What? Where? In the room.
How'd it go?
Oh. Very good, mate. They thought it was brilliant. Tonally, I think they think one or two of the executions are a little too aggressive, so maybe we have to do some softer stuff.
That's cool.
We're here on Monday, and I reckon it'd probably be us and one other going to the board in the new year.
Brilliant.
But nothing to change on the thinking, maybe a couple more executions. 4 bottles of champagne.